What's up, world? It's Amiee Ball, and welcome to Skeletons from the Closet, where we dig up the past to help you build a better future. Let's kick that closet door open, shall we?
Bitch, asshole, slut, dirtbag, loser, moron, whore, douchebag, stupid, freak, drama queen, nerd, manipulator, liar, ignorant, greedy, slob, know-it-all, backstabber, prude, egotistical, scammer, hypocrite, fake, phony, labels. The labels of life. Look, I'm Amiee Ball, and if you're like me, you probably have been labeled by others at some point in your life. Hell, if you're like me, you've probably slapped a few on yourself. And if you stay with me over the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you why these labels might describe how we've acted at times. They don't define us. You'll understand why our actions in weak moments don't really tell our whole story. You'll also get to hear some of the skeletons I've kept hidden, the power behind them, and why we are all so much more complex than a one-word label. Look, life doesn't give us a manual, but it does give us experiences, both good and bad, that shape who we become. And this space right here, my closet, is all ears. It's where we'll become and embrace the sum of those experiences and work together as to how you can make the biggest impact in your life with what you already have at your disposal. Because damn it, we are more than the labels that the fucking world places on us. And today I'm welcoming you into my closet, my sanctuary, a place where I can be me, labels, skeletons, baggage, and all. I'm not here to dish out platitudes. Instead, I'm here to strip down the walls and get to the raw, dirty, nitty gritty that makes us all who we are. And my closet might be a literal space for me, but it's more than that. This is the metaphorical corner where I hold up the mirror to my life. And speaking of mirrors, I finally decided that it's time to drag out my biggest skeletons into the light. No more dancing around the issues, no more hiding. I'm going to spill the tea for you. And trust me, some of this is hot enough to make sure that you pull your hand off the burner. See, I've been more than just a partner, a wife, a mother, an entrepreneur, and a guide to over 10,000 people around the world. Those are just roles I've played. They're not the person that I am. And like many of you, my story is also littered with personal pitfalls that have haunted me relentlessly until now. You know, it's crazy how life has a way of pushing us to our limits. For me, I kind of felt like I was always teetering on the edge. At one point, I was stretched so thin. I had 2 kids, full-time job, a business, and an increasingly distant marriage. My life was this performance where I was both ringmaster and acrobat, juggling constant responsibilities until I stumbled and fell. And I fell freaking hard. I tried opening up to those closest to me about this burden I felt. And what's fucking sick is that those moments of vulnerability that were so indescribably hard for me, the emotional pleas to the people I thought were my biggest allies, my friends, led them to judging me or flat out just walking away from me. I was hurt and broken and quite honestly desperate for understanding and wanting someone to see me. And the more that I asked for it, the more I was pushed away. Fucking irony of life, right? But this wasn't my first dance with difficulty. My life, like many others, has been filled with poor choices and hidden truths, right? There was the job that I got fired from, the bosses that told me I would never be good enough, these low points that gnawed at my self-esteem for years. And as a teenager, I was literally plagued with thyroid issues. So I was about 50 pounds overweight in high school, which, oh God, was terrible. Yet I masked my anguish with self-deprecating humor, because it made people like me. It made them laugh, right? And once I finally shed the pounds and figured out the problem, I also tried to shed that chapter from my story. I transformed my physical body, but locked away all the memories and the experience like they never even existed at all. And relationships, perhaps they were based on the cocktail of abandonment and unmet expectations stemming from daddy issues. I don't know, but I've been through 2 failed marriages, each one a glaring reminder of the inability to sustain the happily ever after that I so desperately yearned for. And speaking of yearning, I have envied others to the point where I secretly wished for their downfall. A toxic sentiment that poisoned my soul more than it could ever affect them. Jealousy was like this constant companion, and I'd find myself silently rooting for people to lose, to fail, which was really just a reflection of my own insecurities. And then there were darker avenues still. Drugs, alcohol, these temporary escapes that promised freedom, but only added to my emotional baggage. And at one of the darkest moments probably of my life, I found solace in an affair. And at the time, it was my secret refuge from life's chaos. He literally became an emotional bandage for my accumulating scars. And what I didn't realize was that each stolen moment reflected the hidden corners of my own personal struggles, my self-inflicted wounds, my search for something more. And while I am absolutely not proud of this chapter, I can't deny it existed. It's a symptom of a life lived at the mercy of past decisions that buried pain, and it also served as a wake-up call. A realization that I had to take ownership of my own happiness, my own life. And today I bear the weight of those choices and their ripple effect on those around me that I love. But I also bear the weight of my awakening, my growth, and the scars that tell the story of my journey so far. Speaking my truth, hearing the truth of others that are going to come on the show is not about justification or assigning blame. It's about transformation. It's about facing demons, acknowledging errors, and giving a voice to fucking experiences so that maybe others who are lost might find their way too when they're turned away by the people they believe in, by the people they trust. They know that trust isn't a forsaken thing. And maybe you can relate to some of this. Maybe you can't just yet. But it's not about the experience sometimes. It's not about you sharing the same story. It's about you feeling that same emotion. Of times when you were abandoned or felt like you were left to the wolves, or you failed at something, or you lost everything. Those are the moments I'm talking about. And these skeletons that I'm sharing with you and that you'll hear other people share, like I said earlier, they don't define us. For me, sure, they're definitely the thorns in my side, the chinks in my armor, the stumbling blocks on my path, and they've shaped me, but they are not me. I've learned to forgive myself, to accept that I'm a work in progress every day, and that's okay. I know that the darkness may always be there, but I will always be in the darkness fighting my way towards the light. I've really come to realize that the victory isn't in erasing your past or forgetting that it existed, but in embracing it and not masking your pain, but in confronting it. And so I share these truths with you now, not as a confession and online journal, but as a testament to the complex tapestry of failures and triumphs that is human life. This is me, laid bare, stripped of pretense, devoid of facade. And you know what? It's fucking liberating. This is my story. It's my reality, and I'm ready to own it all. And that's what I want you to be able to do too. So look beyond the skeletons, beyond the labels, and realize that they're just chapters in that ever-evolving story. But they also contain valuable life lessons that shouldn't be ignored or buried away for no one to learn about ever again. They need to be dissected, understood, and most importantly, accepted for us to grow as better people. So on this podcast, I'll bring together a plethora of voices, from misfits to mavens, from those who have hit rock bottom to those scaling the heights of success. I'm going to tell you, everybody has a closet and everybody shoves skeletons into it. And what makes this journey worthwhile for you to come along on is so that you can get the resilience to look these skeletons in the eye and say, you don't scare me. And that's what we'll be doing here on Skeletons from the Closet. We're rolling up our sleeves, taking a deep breath, and plunging into our pasts, our presents, not to just wander aimlessly, but to find a way out, to emerge better, stronger, and yes, real as shit. We'll be giving you actionable advice, not just motivational quotes, real usable tips, processes, and steps to look at your skeletons in the eye and claim your freaking life back, because these aren't just your downfalls. These are your secret weapons, your hidden sources of strength and resilience that's going to get you to the next level. So prepare to dig deep and to confront and comfort, to cry and laugh, and to step out of the shadows and into the light. Not just asking and talking about change, we're embodying it. How cool does that sound? And we're not just imagining a better life, we're creating it. This is Skeletons from the Closet, where we transform our past into power. So for today, thanks for opening the door and being willing to step inside my closet. Now get ready to open yours. It's time to turn the light on, face those skeletons, and declare, you don't define me, you refine me. It's time to dig deep and rise high. Welcome to Skeletons from the Closet.
That's a wrap on this episode of Skeletons from the Closet with me, your go-to gal for turning chaos into growth, Amiee Ball. If you love the ride, then sprint on over to our Skeletons website for more even badass resources. Oh, and if you dig what I'm putting down, don't be a stranger. Subscribe, drop a review, and maybe even leave a saucy comment. Until next time, keep building that trust and turning your struggles into damn superpowers.